Nero Knowledge launched a new book, and I've always been wondering, what does he sell in his $25,000 courses? And one of the things that he stated in a quote was,
The technique that I exclusively teach to clients is simple and made up of two parts.
number one, the isolated practice of visualization, and number two, carrying that internal shift into your daily life. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing and explaining a little bit more about his technique that he's been sharing about, and how you can see it as a more simple way than looking at frequency and vibration and emotion. Many people who use visualization just swears by it. And if you stay until the end of the video, I will also be sharing a way for you to go from beginner to advanced in visualization, or go to the description. And I will also share one of Nero's techniques that he has shared already in one of his YouTube videos. There's a lot of science around visualization in performance sports like golf, or like golf. Is there any other sports? Yeah, we have in workout, in chess. There's a lot of studies on visualization for the actual physical activity to get better at it. But what fascinates me is being able to use it to remove the mental blocks in your business or in your life. And this is where it's interesting, and also what Nero has figured out is that using visualization is the only thing that's going to shift your beliefs. And if you shift your beliefs, that will shift your thoughts, which shifts the way you feel, which also shifts the way you act. So that creates a new experience in your life. So it makes me really happy that Nero talks about visualization for his private clients. Even if Nero talks about it a little bit vaguely, and Bob Proctor talks about frequency, Neville talks about feeling the way, it's very confusing. There's a lot of things like vibration, frequency, energy, to really simplify things. Frequency is created from emotion. Vibration is created from emotion, and energy is emotion. Emotion fires the neurons in your brain, and the neurons are activated, and that creates an electric spark. You can really just say that all we're looking at when we think about frequency, vibration, energy, we're looking at emotion. Like if you're feeling happy, that's an emotion. If you're feeling sad, that's an emotion that has an electrical charge. So the only thing that actually matters is emotion. What Nero says is that first, he wants them to internally shift, which means he wants them to internally shift their emotions. And then number two, he wants them to carry that emotion throughout the day. But then there's another thing that's really important. You can't just feel good, because if you feel good, yes, you're going to get new thoughts of feeling good. You remember, if you feel bad sometimes, you start thinking worse and worse and worse thoughts. It's the same thing when you're thinking good and good and good thoughts. Same thing happens if you're doing well. Many people who are succeeding in life, they keep on succeeding. Just like many people who lose in their life, they keep losing. And there's also a quote in the Bible that basically states that the one who has a lot will get more, and the one who doesn't have a lot will have less or have nothing. And I definitely can't quote that. So what I told you now was like, yes, you can create the emotion, you can feel good, and then you can carry out that feel good. And what you will get is more feeling good. So if you just do that, great. But what Nero says, and what Nero does, and all of these teachers do, is that you want a true, definite aim. And that's the same thing as Think and Grow Rich. It's the same as the Master Key system. They all talk about the same thing. You want a definite purpose. So basically a definite focus. Let's just say that you want to make $1 million, because that's very easy to think about. $1 million, what you want to do then, that he says, is that you want to create an experience where you've already achieved this million. You already have it on your bank account. And then what you want to do is create an emotional anchor to this situation. And I'm going to tell you why. So you close your eyes, you create this thing, and this is the Nero's technique that I wanted to share with you. Create this situation where you already have this, and you visualize someone congratulating you for this success. And that could be your mom, it could be your friend, someone that matters to you, someone that makes you feel, again, feeling a certain way. So let's say my mom would say this to me, I would feel super blessed, I would feel super confident, super powerful. So basically feeling these emotions. So you visualize your mom saying, oh, congratulations, that's amazing that you made $1 million this year. And you have this picture in your mind. And the way I like to think about this, and this is a little bit more spiritual, but the way I like to think about this is that you're creating a potential future in your mind. Okay? And then you create an emotional anchor in this situation, in this experience in your mind. And what you do then, so you have this experience which feels powerful, confident, peaceful. And then what you want to do is embody that feeling. So you want to embody that peace, that confidence, and that power already now. Because again, what happens if you have a certain feeling is that you get those kind of thoughts and you take those kind of actions. So that's basically frequency, vibration, holding that vibration. It's the same thing. Just holding the emotion of that experience that you've created so clearly and vividly in your mind. 3 problems that people usually have when visualizing is number 1, they can't visualize. So if they can't visualize, they also come to problem number 2, which is I can't feel the emotion. And if you can't do that, you can't create that reality. But number 3 is also then they can't walk with the emotion throughout the day. And that's also a practice which took me a long time to do. And it wasn't until it actually became a practice that it started working for me, that it actually started working for me. And I've always been stuck in my businesses. I've always been stuck in my life. But then doing this and actually just focusing on feeling that emotion has led me to take these kind of actions, has led me to start up my businesses, has led me to start my More to Life clothing company, and actually started me on the way forward. So what I've created is a beginner to advanced visualization course for free. If you want that, just check the description below.